The journey of Wizkid musical career, how it all started. The boy from Ojuelegba. The story of Wizkid begins in the buzzing heart of Surulere, Lagos, inside a modest home in Ojuelegba, a place filled with noise, buses, street vendors, and music that never sleeps. Born on July 16, 1990, Adedeji Ibrahim Balogun grew up in a polygamous household. His father had 3 wives, and Adedeji was one of many children, but the only son. His mother, Jane Balogun, was deeply religious and loved gospel music. His father, Alhaji Munairu Balogun, was a respected elder who practiced Islam. As a boy, Adedeji loved rhythm. Even before he could write full sentences, he could hum tunes perfectly. His Sundays were spent in church, clapping to choir songs, his small voice rising above the congregation. It was in that church choir that he first held a microphone, shy, barefoot, and trembling. But once the music started, he forgot his fear. The sound of voices and drums moved through him like electricity. At home, life wasn't always easy. Money was tight, and his parents wanted him to focus on school. But young Adedeji's heart was already somewhere else, in melodies, in beats, in the feeling that music gave him. His mother would sometimes scold him for writing song lyrics in his notebooks instead of doing homework. By age 11, he was already recording songs under the stage name Lil Prince, performing with a small group of church friends called the Glorious Five. They recorded an album together, homemade, rough, but full of passion. Most people around them didn't take it seriously, but Adedeji did. He wasn't chasing fame then, he just loved the sound of music and the joy it brought to people. He didn't know it yet, but that small boy from Ojuelegba would soon carry the sound of Lagos and Africa across the world. The spark that changed everything. By the time Adedeji turned 17, his dreams had outgrown his neighborhood. Ojuelegba was loud, beautiful, and full of hustle, but it was also tough. He had talent, yet no connections, and no studio wanted to record a skinny teenager who talked about becoming a star. Still, he refused to stop. Whenever he wasn't in class, he was somewhere humming a new tune or hanging out near makeshift studios, watching producers create beats from old computers. One afternoon in 2009, fate introduced him to Banky W., a smooth-voiced R&B artist who had returned from America to start a label called Empire Mates Entertainment, EME. Banky had heard Adedeji's freestyle at a small studio in Surulere. The boy's voice was unique, soft, soulful, and unlike anything else in Nigeria's music scene. After a few more meetings, Banky offered him a recording deal. Adedeji couldn't believe it. He was just a teenager, but now he was in professional studios with real producers. That's when he officially changed his name from Lil Prince to Wizkid, a new identity for the new world opening before him. "You're a wizard with melodies," Banky W. had once told him. The name stuck. In early 2010, Wizkid recorded "Holla at Your Boy." The track became a monster hit. Everywhere, from university hostels to Lagos nightclubs, people sang his chorus. Young fans saw him as one of them, stylish, confident, and full of promise. The music video, directed with bright lights and school scenes, turned him into a youth icon almost overnight. But success didn't come without challenges. Some older artists mocked him for his boyish voice, others doubted he'd last. Yet Wizkid's hunger was stronger than pride. He kept recording, experimenting, and performing across Nigeria. He often returned home to Ojuelegba, handing out small gifts to old friends. His mother, though cautious, smiled whenever she heard his songs on the radio. By the end of 2011, Wizkid's debut album, Superstar, had made him a national sensation. The little boy from the church choir was now Nigeria's newest superstar, and the spark that would ignite Afrobeats across the globe had just been lit. Rising star, rising pressure. After the success of Superstar, Wizkid's life transformed overnight. The boy who once begged studio owners for a chance to record was now performing before thousands. His songs, Don't Dull, Pakarumo, Love My Baby, were everywhere. Radios couldn't stop spinning his tracks, clubs echoed his name, and fans screamed when he walked on stage. He began to travel across Africa, Ghana, Kenya, South Africa, carrying his Lagos sound wherever he went. But fame came with new pressures. Suddenly, everyone wanted a piece of him. Promoters, friends, and strangers claiming to be family. He was barely 20, juggling fame, money, and expectations. Some people called him arrogant, others said he was too young to handle success. Inside, Ojuelegba was still humble. He never forgot Ojuelegba, and he often visited home quietly, slipping money into people's hands or paying for kids' school fees. "Na God run am," he would say with a smile, meaning, it's all God's doing. Still, the industry wasn't always kind. Rival labels wanted to poach him, tabloids spread rumors about his private life, and the pressure to deliver another hit was growing. He sometimes argued with his label, EME, over contracts and creative control. Wizkid wanted freedom, to experiment, to grow, to sound different. "I don't just want to sing, I want to speak through music," he told a close friend one night. By 2013, the tension with his label became public. Rumors of a split filled social media. But Wizkid stayed focused. He had already started building his own movement, Starboy Entertainment, a vision to help young artists like himself get discovered. "I know what it feels like to have talent and no platform," he said during an interview. Then came the next turning point. His sophomore album, Har Yor, meaning joy in Yoruba. Released in 2014, it featured the global hit Ojuelegba, a song that told his story, the struggles, the faith, and the grace that brought him this far. It wasn't just music, it was his autobiography in rhythm. Little did he know, that single would soon change his life again, this time beyond Africa. Ojuelegba to the world. When Ojuelegba dropped in 2014, it wasn't just another Afrobeat song, it was a prayer in rhythm. The song captured the Lagos spirit, the hustle, the noise, the dream that never dies. Its message, "I started from the bottom, but God carried me," resonated deeply across Africa. One evening in 2015, Wizkid's phone buzzed. It was a message that would change everything. Drake and Skepta, two global artists, had fallen in love with Ojuelegba. They remixed it, and within weeks, the remix went viral. Suddenly, Wizkid wasn't just a Nigerian star, he was an international name. Soon after, Drake invited him to collaborate on a new track, One Dance. The song dropped in 2016, and the world went wild. It hit #1 on the Billboard Hot 100, making Wizkid the first Nigerian artist to achieve that feat. From the slums of Ojuelegba to topping American charts, it was history. But even with the fame, Wizkid stayed grounded. "I'm just that boy from Lagos," he would say in interviews. He still ate local food, still spoke Yoruba freely, and still visited his mum's shop in Surulere whenever he could. The world called him Wizkid, but to his mother, he was always Ojuelegba. Sounds from the other side. By 2017, Wizkid's sound had evolved. He signed international deals with Sony Music and RCA Records, setting the stage for his third studio album, Sounds from the Other Side. It was his first global crossover project, a fusion of Afrobeats, dancehall, reggae, and pop. The album featured collaborations with Drake, Chris Brown, Ty Dolla $ign, and Major Lazer. For the first time, a Nigerian artist had built a bridge that connected Lagos nightlife to Los Angeles radio. Critics praised his sound, though some fans back home felt it sounded too foreign. Wizkid understood. "I'm not leaving home," he said in an interview. "I'm taking home to the world." The same year, he became the first African artist to sell out London's Royal Albert Hall, a monumental moment. The crowd sang every lyric word for word, waving Nigerian flags proudly. It wasn't just a concert, it was cultural history. The Starboy Empire. Fame alone wasn't Wizkid's goal anymore, he wanted legacy. In 2018, he poured his energy into Starboy Entertainment, signing and mentoring rising talents like Terry, Spotless, and others. "Starboy isn't just a name," he said, "it's a movement for African youth to shine." He began collaborating with fashion brands, launching his own Starboy merchandise, and setting new trends. Wizkid wasn't just making music, he was building an empire. Still, he remained humble. He loved spending quiet evenings with his sons. "Music is my life," he once said, "but my family is my peace." As 2019 approached, Wizkid took a short break from music. The industry was fast-paced, and he needed to reflect. The next thing he planned would define his career forever. Made in Lagos. In October 2020, In the middle of a pandemic, Wizkid released his most mature and soulful project yet, Made in Lagos. It was smooth, thoughtful, and proudly African. Songs like Essence, Smile, and Blessed showed a softer side of him. The standout hit, Essence featuring Thames, became an anthem of love and calm across the world. The song entered the Billboard Hot 100 and made Wizkid and Thames the first Nigerian artists to chart that high without a foreign feature. Then came the Justin Bieber remix, and Essence went global. From Lagos to London to Los Angeles, everyone was vibing to Afrobeats. Wizkid's Made in Lagos tour sold out arenas in New York, Paris, and Amsterdam. The boy from Surulere had truly gone global. At the Grammy Awards, Wizkid won Best Music Video for Brown Skin Girl with Beyoncé and was nominated for Essence. The world had finally embraced the Afrobeat sound he carried for years. The Quiet King. By 2022, Wizkid had evolved into something more than a pop star. He was calm, reserved, and spiritual. He rarely granted interviews, preferring to let his music speak. His fourth album, More Love, Less Ego, dropped that year, blending introspection and rhythm. He spoke less, observed more, and inspired millions just by being authentic. "Love is everything," he tweeted one evening. "When I leave this world, I just want to be remembered for spreading love." He became a symbol of African pride, proof that you could come from nothing and still touch the world. He headlined global festivals, walked red carpets with the biggest stars, yet still returned to Nigeria to visit his mother in Ojuelegba. The pain of loss. In 2023, tragedy struck. Wizkid lost his beloved mother, Mrs. Jane Balogun, a woman he often called my everything. The news broke hearts across Africa. Fans gathered outside his Lagos home to show love and support. For weeks, Wizkid went silent. He cancelled shows and disappeared from the spotlight. "There's no Wizkid without my mum," he once said. Her death shook him deeply, but it also brought him closer to his roots. When he finally returned to social media months later, he posted just one sentence, "More Ayor, I see joy." It became the name of his next album, More Ayor, A New Beginning. In 2024, Wizkid returned stronger, releasing his sixth studio album, More Ayor, named in honor of his late mother. The songs were emotional, a blend of grief, hope, and gratitude. Tracks like K-Say, Dance, and Piece of My Heart revealed a new side of him, wiser, grounded, and free. He made his directorial debut with the K-Say music video, proving that his creativity extended beyond sound. Critics called More Ayor a spiritual awakening through music. In 2025, Wizkid won big at the NAACP Image Awards, and his More Ayor World Tour sold out across continents. Despite everything he'd lost, he stood tall, still smiling, still grateful, still representing Africa. The legacy of a legend. At 35, Wizkid is no longer just an artist, he's an icon. From the dusty streets of Ojuelegba to world stages, he has redefined what African music means to the world. He remains one of the most influential voices in Afrobeats history, inspiring a new generation of artists who see in him the proof that dreams are valid. He built bridges between cultures, showed grace in fame, and humility in power. His journey teaches that greatness doesn't come overnight. It grows with faith, focus, and consistency. When asked in an interview what keeps him going, Wizkid smiled and said quietly, "The sound of home. Lagos. My people. My mum. That's my heartbeat." And indeed, through every song, the heartbeat of Lagos, the heartbeat of Africa, still echoes. Like, comment, and subscribe to our channel for more interesting stories and update on entertainment gist of your favorite celebrity.